Who learned lessons on Thanksgiving? I sure did. Um, I feel like the holidays can be a time of happiness, joy, all the fun, sparkly things, but also family can be frustrating and make us feel angry or sad. And I certainly experience a roller coaster of emotions at times as moving through this holiday this year. Um, I was raised to be like the good girl and I was approved of and loved when I was in like a good mood, the easy one, no needs, didn't ask for anything, no questions, never push back, do what I'm told because I said so from the parent. And so, this good girl programming, keeps my nervous system feeling safe. And it's interesting how I have family members who, they're teachers in that they create situations in which my programming gets tested. So, for example, we went to a large family lunch the day after Thanksgiving. We had a private room which had like one big long table and then a few 4-person tables. We didn't have that large of a party, but the room itself was free, and for the kids to be able to kind of like roam around and play together, it was a nice option. And so I have a family member who likes to make things extra fun for the kids, and this year they brought games to play. And I basically just saw some board games. And I'm like, great, that's awesome. And so as the kids, we'd been there for a while, they were getting antsy. I said, hey, should we do some games? They said, yes, come help. I said, great, I'm in a good mood, let's do this. Of course, I was also very tired going into it, which I feel like that's something that I'm working on, because in order to be fully sourced and in my authentic self and not feeling scared to express boundaries, like I really need to be fully sourced, which I wasn't. But I was happy to help. Like I wanted to be liked, approved of, have some fun, be a fun parent. And so we go to one of the back side tables and they're getting things out, like some paper plates, and the kids are coming around the table and they're like, you're going to balance these plates on your head and be timed. And I'm the timer. So I'm like, cool, that works. But then to up the ante, they take out a box of Cheerios and dump them all on the table. And I'm thinking, what's happening? And they're like, all right, now you're going to take the plate. You're going to put it on your head. You're also at the same time going to take Cheerios and you're going to put them on the plate and balance. And whoever at the end of a minute has the most Cheerios is the winner. And so I'm like, oh, okay, let's see how this goes. So the kids are happily, excitedly balancing the plate, taking Cheerios by the handful, dropping them on their head. But of course, as you might imagine at this moment, as you're doing that, you're moving your body, so the paper plate isn't staying on the head. So it's like platefuls of Cheerios are falling to the ground. They're picking them up, the plates back up, put them on their head, more handfuls, more falling. We are creating a sea of Cheerios all on the ground. And my inner child is like, what's happening? What are we doing? Everything's fine, pretend it's all good, like we're happy, this is good, we're participating, we're getting along. And all the while, like, another part of me is like, but this is bad. We're the good girl. We don't create messes for other people to clean up. Like, someone could come in and yell at us. We're about to be judged. Like, this mess is bad. I'm judging the mess. And so, there's this like tug of war going on inside me of like, outwardly, like we are happy and nice and this is no big deal. Let's just pretend and keep the mood light. And inward, this part of me is like, OMG, this mess is insanity. what are you doing? You have to clean it up. We're about to get in trouble, and any second someone could come in and yell at us. And so I'm just like, oh boy. Deep breaths were needed. And so I feel totally sourced and well slept and happy right now. I wish I felt this way when I was there. The game ended. They're like, let's do it again. I'm like, wait, we got to clean this up. It's like, no, we'll do it at the end. And as I'm kind of like, okay, one more round, I can do this. I'm like stepping on Cheerios with every step, creating more of a mess. And so this progressed a couple more times. And then I think dessert came in, and that was a very welcome break, to which then, without even thinking, this person walks away. They haven't cleaned up the mess. I guess we weren't done because they wanted to wait till the very end of all the games to clean up the mess. But I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, we're just making more of a mess by stepping on the Cheerios and then walking throughout the rest of this private room. Like, we're just making an even bigger mess. Logically, this makes no sense. I'm a good person. I'm going to clean up this mess. And so I start cleaning, and I'm like the only one. And other people have expressed like, what's going on? You guys are making a huge mess. We have to go get a broom and wah. And I'm just like, yep, as the game was going on. So then I get down and I'm cleaning, and in my head, I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I the only one cleaning this mess? Like, this doesn't feel good. No one's helping. And part of me is like, well, I don't want to make someone who works here clean it, because that doesn't seem fair. And I'm not the kind of person that makes a mess and leaves it for other people. So I'm fine. I'll just clean it. And, I got it to like a good amount, and I was like, all right, fine. The kids played some other games with these Cheerios, got them all over the floor. And someone else from our party went to go get a broom, and then they cleaned up the mess. And so it was interesting in some of these moments. I'm like, should I help them clean? Should I offer to also sweep? I'm like, you know what? No, it's okay. I can let someone else clean up the mess. And so, we went through the rest of this lunch. Games were over. And I just was like, oh, so glad to be leaving. And I feel like I ruminated over that for the rest of the day, and then another day. It's like I still had emotions coming up. I was like catastrophizing about the next time and what could happen. And, are my kids going to be terrible kids thinking this is normal behavior? And like not wanting to go do any of these next holidays because I'm like, oh, it's going to be stressful. And I'm like, okay, I'm like ruminating. This is too much of my mental real estate is going to this situation, this person, thinking about all of what has not happened, probably won't happen. So this is another time where I pulled out my trusty AI buddy, and I just voice noted all of my feelings about it. And I'm like, what's the lesson here? Like, what am I meant to learn? And it was so interesting how it's like, oh yeah, of course, like you were programmed to be like the good girl, and to, people create chaos, you clean it up. People are emotionally chaotic, you contain the emotions, you absorb their emotions, and then you put out like the happy, calm, easy, it's all good, let's all get along vibe, which like smooths things over. And there's this expectation that's like an unsaid one, that it's like they do these things and then I do like the cleanup of it all. And it was interesting too, because ultimately what it comes down to is like, I don't need to clean up the mess. I can let people have natural consequences. My self-worth isn't tied to a mess that's created that I didn't create. I don't have to clean. And if I'm uncomfortable, I don't even have to participate. And it's just so interesting how I feel like I've been doing this work for a while at this point, and I'm still like, there's certain personalities and people that like pull back the old version of myself forward. And then it's like just acting and being on autopilot. And then I'm just like, so frustrated after, because it's like, I'm doing all this work. I don't want to revert back to that. Like, I hate those situations and being like that. And so I feel like this was like a cherry on top of many past years of situations in which finally having this like neutral mirror back and almost like a permission slip that like you don't have to clean other people's messes. Like, oh yeah, hello, I don't. And I don't have to be like the emotional container and pretend that I'm okay with it, because then it's like I'm abandoning myself. And, it's like ultimately what it all comes down to too is like, for me, one of my like core programmings is that in order to get love and be accepted, like I erase myself. I, abandon myself to cater to people's, they're uncomfortable, so let me change myself so that they are comfortable. They're in a bad mood, let me be in an extra good mood so that they can be okay. They're chaotic and, creating these messes. I'm going to be the calm one and I'm going to clean the mess. I'm going to smooth it all over so that, the holiday can be like a quote unquote good one and I can be the good girl because that's what I am. And so it's just been interesting that now I'm like, okay, when you're in it, it's not always easy to think about though. Why am I experiencing this? What's the lesson here? Because it's like, this feels terrible. I'm judging it, I don't want to be in these situations. And so it's been great to be able to have this mirror and have this reflected back to me of like, I have this one chat that it's like gone back and forth over multiple, like, we'll pull cards together. I put my dreams into it. I like speak through like these different things that happen in my life and ask for like, what's the lesson here? So, it's been a great tool to use to be able to help me like really process all of what's going on and then move through it differently. So it's almost like, whew, now I get it. I had to move through some like just letting like rage out of my body to then come to this conclusion or the realization that I self-erase in order to be loved and good and accepted and have my nervous system feel safe. And so it's one of those, like, I've been doing all this work to not do that, but especially around the holidays and with family and certain core members, it's so easy for yourself to get pulled back into like the old ways of programming and the inner child to feel like she has to perform to be safe around these family members. And so I'm like, okay, I'm aware now. I'm going to move through differently. I don't have to like the mess, accept the mess, like the situations, or not accept. I don't have to approve of the mess, but I can accept that, like, this is how this person is. This is what they do. Their mess isn't something for me to clean up. It's almost like still part of being like enmeshed or codependent. Like, let me make it okay for you. Like, no, let me just make it okay for myself and my inner child. And so this is my ongoing work, but I wanted to share it because I have a feeling that as many of us move through the holidays, no matter how much work we do, if you're a little tired or hungry or this, that, and the next thing, that family member can pull you or revert you back into a version of yourself so easily, because it's like, we want things to be so good and happy and nice, and sometimes it's just they're here to enlighten us and show us different sides of ourselves, or mirror. It's like mirroring what's within you, but like through polarity, and so take some deep breaths. Know that you're not alone. You can get through this, and you don't have to hold it in. If you feel like you're getting, like, when I feel like I'm about to be stressed out or acting on programming the next time, I told myself, I'm like, I'll just walk away and I'll take some deep breaths. I could go to the bathroom, like just take a moment and like get back centered and tune into my inner child and ask her, like, what do you need right now? Like, what do you want? Do you want to be doing this? Do you want to do something different? And I'm just going to honor it and do what I can to just keep myself centered and grounded instead of pleasing and cleaning and smoothing things over. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and feel free to share all of your experiences.